In late August 2025, Minneapolis was rocked by a series of shootings that shattered the city's sense of security. 4 major attacks unfolded in just 24 hours, beginning on August 26th, with a gunman opening fire on a sidewalk. 1 dead, 6 wounded. That night, another deadly shooting deepened the crisis. By early the next morning, a 3rd incident was reported. Hours later, gunfire erupted outside Annunciation Catholic Church, next to a school, sending shockwaves through families. In total, at least 3 people were killed, and over a dozen wounded in this brief, violent span. The rapid succession of these attacks left Minneapolis on high alert. These weren't isolated incidents, they capped a summer already marked by violence. The shootings highlighted a troubling pattern that's plagued the city for years. Residents are now demanding answers and action. The violence brought the crisis to the doorsteps of families and children, amplifying calls for change. For many, the events were a painful reminder of the ongoing struggle for safety. The community is left to mourn and to confront a difficult reality. Minneapolis faces urgent questions. Why is this happening and what can be done? The city's challenge is clear: restore peace and rebuild trust. The need for solutions has never felt more immediate. The city stands at a crossroads. City and state leaders responded swiftly to the violence. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara called the spike in shootings deeply unsettling and pledged unwavering commitment to public safety. Governor Tim Walz deployed additional state law enforcement to Minneapolis, increasing patrols around schools and places of worship. The presence of state troopers was meant to reassure residents and show solidarity. State officials emphasized collaboration, local and state agencies working together to restore order. Department of Public Safety leaders called the loss of life a tragedy felt across Minnesota. The deployment of state resources underscored the seriousness of the crisis. Leaders knew that words alone wouldn't be enough. Visible action was needed. The pressure was on to not only address the immediate violence, but to develop a long-term strategy. The city's response was clear. Minneapolis would not face this crisis alone. The public demanded more than promises, they wanted results. The challenge for officials: restore safety and rebuild trust in the city's future. The stakes had never been higher. The city's leaders were under intense scrutiny. The numbers reveal the depth of Minneapolis's crisis. Though only 7% of Minnesota's population, the city accounts for 30% of aggravated assaults, 46% of murders, and a staggering 91% of carjackings statewide. Robberies are just as disproportionate. Over half occur in Minneapolis. These aren't just statistics, they represent real people and real pain. While violent crime has dropped from its 2022 to 2023 peaks, it remains 45% higher than in 2018. Murders statewide peaked at 201 in 2021, and though down to 172 in 2023, the numbers remain far above pre-2020 levels. The August shootings didn't happen in isolation. They're part of a sustained period of heightened violence. The data underscores the immense challenge facing law enforcement and city leaders. Each number is a life changed forever. Understanding these trends is crucial to finding solutions. The crisis is both statistical and deeply personal. Minneapolis is carrying a burden far heavier than its size would suggest. The need for effective action is urgent. Experts point to several factors behind the surge in violence. Police staffing is a major issue. Minneapolis operates with 40% fewer officers than authorized, limiting patrols and investigations. Legislative changes and prosecutorial policies are also under scrutiny, with critics arguing that leniency has weakened consequences for offenders. The social climate, pandemic disruptions, anti-police sentiment, and the so-called Ferguson effect has further complicated public safety efforts. Some progress was made earlier in 2025, with fewer gunshot victims, but mass shootings in April and August erased those gains. The path to safety is not linear, progress is fragile, and setbacks are severe. The debate continues: how to balance reform, accountability, and effective crime prevention. Minneapolis's struggle reflects national challenges, but the stakes here are immediate and personal. The city must find a way forward. The tragedies in Minneapolis are a call to action for the entire community. Public safety can't be achieved by police or politicians alone, it requires everyone's involvement. Addressing the police staffing crisis is urgent, but so is building trust between officers and residents. Long-term solutions mean investing in youth programs, mental health, job training, and poverty reduction. Violence thrives where hope is scarce. Prevention is as vital as enforcement. The city must channel grief into determination for change. Leaders must be responsive and residents engaged. The goal, a safer, more resilient Minneapolis for all. The time for action is now. The city's future depends on it.